Okay, here's my Sinew back to maple. I can't really call it a long bow. I'd say it's a short bow, really. But just give you a good look at the sinewing. It's on the tiller. Let me hold on. I lowered the way I had it braced. I mean, it was crazy stretched out. Now it's not much past brace height, which is really where it needs to be. It's almost done. Unfortunately, it was going to be, I was going for like a 29-inch draw. Not even close. It's going to be like a 22, 24-inch draw. It's stacking at that point, which means it doesn't really matter how much weight I take off of it. I'm not going to be able to get this bow to 29 inches. But that's okay. He can just shoot a little different style. That's all. It's relatively short. I don't even know. I don't use a lot of tape measure. You can see that's the point it's braced at right now. It's really low brace. But that's it sitting on the ground. Let me see if I can do this. Here. This is it sitting on the ground. And it's still rough, I mean, it hasn't been sanded or prettied up. But it's almost complete. I mean, it's not going to take much more to get it to brace. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to take some weight off both the limbs equally, and then I'll be back. Alright guys, well, due to the fact that this bow has the string leaning more to the one side of the bow, I'm going to need this limb over here on the right, this one, whoops, to become the top limb. And right now it's bending less than this one. And it needs to bend more. The top limb needs to bend slightly more. So what I'm going to have to do is take even more weight off of this limb. I'm just hoping it ends up a 45-pound bow at least. Okay, here it is. I just got to do a little sanding on it and it's done. The top limb's bending a lot more than the bottom now. Almost too much. So I had to kind of catch the bottom up to it a bit. It's one of those bows to where like I've got it down. It's sinew backed. It's not going to break. There's no hinges. The top limb bends a little bit more than the bottom limb as far as like more than I want it to. It's only supposed to be very slight, but it's okay. It's going to shoot great like this. I'm going to take a look at it from the other side. It looks really weird from the other side, but it's just the way that the limb grew to begin with. You have a look at this limb here. Comparatively, I mean, it's not as weird looking as I thought. It's just that upper limb is definitely bending more. Not the end of the world. So I'm going to sand this bow, make that string a little more permanent. It's just tied on, and call this one done. And then Kenton's wife's bow is in the house drying, and I'll show you that. So this is Kenton's wife's bow, and let me get this off this, hold on. Still not to full brace height, so it'll gain some poundage there. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna call that one done once it's sanded. This is Kenton's wife's bow, quite a bit bigger. Not really quite a bit, a couple inches longer. And it's a self bow with no sinew on it. That's the cambium layer left. And the reason this one isn't done, I mean, it's pretty much tillered. I still got to do some tillering on it, but I mean, you can see it's bending nicely. It's almost done. However, I just epoxied these deer tine tips onto it. And yeah, I'm going to wait until it dries, probably tomorrow, and then I'm going to sand the nocks into it. Very crude, primitive, I'm not going way out of my way on the nocks on this one. I just figured if you see how thin the tip of this is, it's thinner than my finger, the tip of this bow, the actual wood. So I wanted something on there to take the string and, I mean, it's crude, but it's cool, it's a little piece of deer antler just glued on there. Same thing on the other side. Just glued on deer antler. I did file it flat on the back, and I will shape it a little better than this. I'm going to take a file to it and make it nice. But I went ahead and made the tips on this one nice and thin. It's a target bow. This is going for 30 pounds, something like that. So it's not going to be a crazy heavy bow. Kenton's handle is actually a piece of English yew wood. It's the other split off of this. that I glued on, and his wife, which I can't remember her name right now, hers is just the heartwood of the maple that I went ahead and left on there, and it came out really pretty. So you can see Kenton's, you can see the heartwood to the maple kind of sticking out right there, and then it goes to the yew wood. So yeah, anyways, these are two bows that are going to be living together, and the cool part about this is they were one log, and I split the log in half and made these two bows out of it, and they are going to a husband and wife. So the husband gets one side of the log, sinew back, slightly shorter, and the wife gets the other side of the same maple log, self bow, slightly longer. I was shooting for 50 to 60 pounds of his. I think I'm going to come in at 40, 45, maybe 50. And I'm shooting for 30 with hers, and hers isn't done being tillered yet. So we'll see. His is a little more crude as far as like how it looks on the back side there. I don't know if you can, right there you can see how they're a lot shorter than each other. I tried to make hers, I thought femininity when I made hers. Here's his nocks, a little thicker. Doesn't that just look like husband, wife? I don't know, maybe not. Maybe I'm just a weirdo. But, yeah, hers is a little curvier. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I tried to make hers a little more feminine looking. Anyways, Jesse Rush with Flinga Bows. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, that's it for me. Yeah, you can really see how the top limb bends more than the bottom limb there. If I put it down, I'll show you. See that top limb bends more. But when you pull it to full draw, it doesn't look that exaggerated. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal, so I don't really know why it's looking like that when it's low. There was one of the limbs, before the sinew pulled it into reflex, one of the limbs went down and then up, and I think it was that one, and that might be why it looks like that. Either way, he's going to love it. I know he will. It's going to shoot great. It looks like crap, though. Drives me nuts. Looks a little better on that side. Anyways, there it is, guys. I'm happy with him. I'll take it off the string real quick and show you what it looks like directly after being strung. Well, there it is. Just unbraced the sinew back bow. It's in the same place it was before. See how it's slightly shorter? You can see it right there. And they're lined up on that end, so it's about, I don't know, 4 inches shorter. But you can see that sinew, man, does its job and then some. And you can definitely see why this one's bending out more. And now I remember. It went up here and then curled down, and then, so it's having to curl more to actually make the tiller even. You can see if I flip it over, you can kind of see it better on this side. But see how it comes up and then bends down and then goes up again? I didn't reflex this bow with heat or anything. It's a gift that I'm giving a friend, so in a way I wanted to do a really good job on it, but at the same time I didn't want to spend like 3 months working on it, So because of the way that the wood ended up on this side of the log, it was a little funky. And actually, what's funny is this one does it too. They both